Hi there, it's another tarot sesh for Gemini. I'm the Cannastrologer. My name is Abby, and this is your September monthly moon reading. I know that I'm a little behind when it comes to the full moon, which is already passed. That was the full lunar eclipse on September 7th. But this is just picking up on the energy of that, for the rest of the month, and how that applies to the sign of Gemini. And it's meant for whenever you're seeing this. If the title resonates, it's meant for you. So Gemini, I've already tried this reading once. I got halfway through and the computer shut off. And then when I went back to replay that first half, it just wasn't even in the computer anywhere. So I'm not going to reshuffle. I'm just going to go over what has already been pulled out, and then we will go into everything else along the way. So the song that I had on pre-shuffle for you when I was getting the cards together, it's called Way Less Sad by AJR. And some of the lyrics, I should move because New York is getting muddy out. There's LA, but it's always kind of sunny out, and I don't want to hurt no more, so I set my bar real low. I'm A-okay, you say it, but you just don't mean it. You're so insane, shut up and just enjoy this feeling. Don't you love it? No, I ain't happy yet, but I'm way less sad. So immediately I had picked up on, there could be somebody who is doing better than they were doing, but they're still not completely happy, but they're way less sad. Okay, so this could be about anything. This could be, a job, a relationship. This could be, about a loss of a person in your life or something like that, where you're feeling better, but you're way less sad, but you're just not back to your old self yet, okay? So then the next card that we pulled was for the Secrets of the Witch, the Witch's Apprentice, okay? So the witch says it's time to learn something magical. She will send you signs of what you need to study. Something challenging, mystical, and very exciting is about to happen. So you've got something exciting that's coming in, okay? Be excited about that. Hold on to that. So you could be getting an apprenticeship with something that you haven't done before. There could be something that you're learning that's going to take you in a new direction. Just take it as it resonates, okay? Then for the Black Moon Astrology, bottom of the deck, we had the 5th house, creativity. So you might want to check and see what is in your 5th house on your natal chart or in your natal chart. And if you don't know your natal chart, get with me. I can help you with that. The 29th could be significant. Somebody could be 29 years old. 2 plus 9 equals 11. And 11s and numerology are all about twin flame, soulmate type of energy. 1 plus 1 equals 2. That's about unity and stability. I also had talked about, the whole concept around way less sad. You see the happy and the sad face. It's like comedy, also like amusements. You could be going to amusement parks or different places. You could be into comedy or going to comedy shows. And it's interesting because I always say this about comedians. I super love comedy. I go to stand-up comedy and comedy shows whenever I can. But the thing that I respect most about comedians is they can take some of the deepest, darkest, most sad, instances and parts of life and make it funny. They bring humor to lighten up really heavy subjects, really heavy, things in life. And that's their gift. That's their blessing, right? But at the same time, on a different flip of the coin, right? Like there's people like Robin Williams, may he rest in peace, that, these are some of the funniest people that bring love and laughter and light to a lot of others. But then turns out they're some of the most depressed and saddest people that are there, and you just don't know because it's all a mask, right? So there's a message there for somebody. Top of the deck, however, we have Pisces, I believe. Now, we did just get through the Pisces full moon. It was the full corn moon in Pisces, which then turned into the blood moon, which with the full lunar eclipse. So Pisces is a very moody type of energy. It's the highest of the highs but lowest of the lows. And so I feel like some of you could have strong 12th house placements, which is ruled by Pisces. It's very mystical. It's deep. It's it's very, that's what I'm looking for, emotional, right? So let's go over this. Pisces, I believe. I must be a mermaid. I have no fear of depths and a great fear of shallow living. Anais Nin, who's a Pisces, the four-chambered heart. In faith and trust, you must surrender to what is. Pisces, the double fish, is ruled by Neptune, god of the waters, oceans, and seas. Some of you also, Gemini, could be attracted to water or the oceans or seas or aquatic life. It is a mutable sign. It's home to being the 12th house of self-undoing. It is mysterious and unfathomable, but can indicate a life that needs clarifying as well as definition. Pisces is a beautiful sign with much compassion, denoting true visions that link up with the collective. Those ruled by the sign know it all deep down, but also have trouble sorting matters out. You may be extra sensitive to beauty currently. You might be interested in poetry. Take advantage of inspiration and channel it into a creative project. So you could be, getting creative or doing something creative, maybe in the arts or comedy or music. Make sure that you're not being pulled under by other people's complications. It's even possible that you have someone in your life who saps you, like just sucks your energy out of you, right? Usually this is not intentional, but because of some delusional way of thinking or viewing the world, that clouds the issue. So don't fall into the same confusion. Make sure that you're protected and have the proper boundaries. So the corresponding tarot card to Pisces is the Hanged Man. This is when somebody is being either put in a universal timeout or putting themselves in a timeout, right? And that's to look at something from a different perspective. The key ideas behind this card is about compassion, oneness, art, the unconscious, music, I said that, water, and also the feeling of being a victim of something. It's good to have boundaries, not getting caught up in the wrong crowd. Okay, so you could have maybe in the past been feeling like you were getting caught up in the wrong crowd, realizing that those are just not the right people for you. Okay, so then we pulled three main cards from the tarot, the Modern Witch. First card out is the Four of Pentacles. Now, Pentacles are Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus energy. And this card is a card of holding on to what you have. It's also a card of savings, but it's also a card of knowing when to let go, okay? Knowing when to give, knowing when to take. So I always call this my take it to the bank card. So you could have been saving, but you could have also been holding on to something a little too tightly in the past as it applies to clarification, as it applies to money, as it applies to material goods, and things of the such. And then the next card we have is the Ten of Wands. Now that's fire sign energy, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. This tens are endings. This is somebody who's laying down the burdens. The responsibility has just been too heavy. They can't take it all. They don't want to deal with it anymore. They're laying down the burdens and they're moving on to the next venture, the next cycle, the next situation. I feel like somebody's just kind of like, no, I'm done with this. Now, this could be like a passion, anything that you're passionate about. This could be work, career, finance, business, passion projects, but this also could be passion towards a person, like a romance, a relationship, some kind of a connection, something that you're just like, it's over, we're done. Burden has gotten too heavy and it's not for me to bear anymore. But then we have coming in the future the High Priestess. Now this could be a person. High Priestess, this is more Pisces energy, but it can be any sign. This also could be like a tarot card reader. You could be getting tarot card readings, which you're here at my channel. But this also is somebody who uses discernment, judgment, gut instincts for themselves, right? Underneath the deck, we have the Nine of Cups. This is about wish fulfillment, okay? Someone who's getting everything, or either getting everything that they want or has everything that they've ever wanted, right? Definitely someone who feels, that they've got everything that they need, but do they really? Because there's still that 10th cup that isn't there, right? This plays into the reading. So what's interesting, then I clarified, and I only got to the first 2 cards of clarification, but the first 3 cards that fell out for the clarifying the 4 of Pentacles was the 10 of Cups. Okay, I was talking about that 10th cup, but this fell in reverse. So in the past, there was somebody that was holding on to something, money, pentacles, material things, whatever, and it's like they had this in their grasp, but they decided not to take it. The 10 of Cups in reverse is about pity. It's about waste, arguments, and disunity. They had that 10th cup. It was right there in their grasp, but this fell in reverse as well. Sorry, my hair. So there was a new beginning, a new relationship, and it was being repressed. It was like a repressed emotion, blocked logic, emotional overwhelm. Somebody that was not able to deal with their emotions, and therefore they let go of this situation. What could have been a 10 of Cups, they let it go. Now what's interesting, then you come out, Gemini, as the Magician right below that. You have all the tools that you need. You have all of the elements around you in order to manifest whatever situation, whatever outcome that you want. But somebody just chose not to fulfill themselves with the 10 of Cups. I think they were more focused on money. So then we've got the 10 of Wands. Okay, let's clarify the 10 of Wands. The first card that came out is the 7 of Pentacles. Now the 7 of Pentacles talks about planting those seeds and then nurturing those seeds so that they can grow, okay? It's looking back on what you have achieved and now setting new goals. And I feel like somebody, was just feeling like what they're looking back on, they've already achieved so much, but now they're like tired. They're full of responsibilities for everything, and it's like, what is it really that I was working for in the whole first place? It's about necessity and remembering. And I feel like, all this focus and concentration on what it is that they wanted to have, such as money, stability, material things, right? They got it. It looks like they've got it. They, manifested what it was that they wanted and therefore didn't have or didn't want. But now you're sitting here and we've got somebody who has also grown emotionally. And this is, the King of Cups is somebody who's emotionally mature. But now he's like reflecting back and he's realizing, I don't have my 10 of Cups. Like, what happened to that? Because they were too focused on the passion. They were too focused on the money, But no, I don't see any communication, and all the water energy, emotions, and feelings is in reverse. So this is somebody who is subtle, crafty, wise, fierce, considerate, balanced, and generous. But because it's like they weren't working on that, like they weren't manifesting that, it made the Wheel of Fortune come out in reverse. It's like it killed your karma with everything that you really were working on. So the Wheel of Fortune in reverse is about misfortune. It's about failure, chaos, bad luck, broken sequence, returning again to the same situation. So by somebody not focusing on love, not focusing on their emotions with the right person or a right situation, right people, it basically brought them back to square one. So, and it's funny because the song, Don't You Love It, Don't You Love It, no, I'm not happy yet, but I'm way less sad. So I do see somebody who, it's like, yeah, I got what I wanted, but I'm not happy yet. I'm just way less sad. So it's like somebody's still getting what they want, but not exactly everything that they want, if that makes sense. So that's where we're at right now before the camera shut down. Now we're going to clarify the High Priestess. The High Priestess is the know-all, see-all. Okay, she knows the secrets. She knows the things, right? And this could be you. This could be your internal logic, right? Your internal knowing. 2 more, please. Let's clarify the High Priestess. Okay. Okay. Well, I like that. Okay. I like this. So somebody is realizing this. Somebody is realizing that, what am I hearing? Money doesn't make the man makes the money. applies to women too. But somebody is realizing that by focusing only on the material things in the past, yes, it brought in a lot of material things, more material things, but it didn't bring in the love that they wanted. It didn't bring in that fulfillment that they were looking for. And so now they're looking at this high priestess energy, whether it's an actual person or just the energy of, and they're seeing options. Now this could be Scorpio. This is Scorpionic energy, the Seven of Cups. You got to be careful with options, because when you are presented with a lot of options, it's like a lot of opportunity, but then it can become an illusion, because it's like, ooh, I can have that, or I can have that, or I can have this. But that might be, even though it's sparkly and all pretty, it might be like a turd covered in glitter, right? So you have to really know what you're looking at and pay attention to it, using your discernment, using wise, sound judgment with that high priestess energy. Okay? The Seven of Cups is all about stepping back from everything to gain perspective. It's very hangman energy as well, but it's also a card of like daydreaming, choices, escapism. It's thinking about the promises that were unfulfilled, the things that were said but never, dealt with or done. But then I've got the Eight of Pentacles. So we go from the Seven of Pentacles to the Eight of Pentacles in the future. And this is somebody who's a master at what they do. Somebody who's very good at what they do. Now, it could be this high priestess energy, a tarot card reader, or somebody who's just like very knowledgeable. Or this could be, somebody choosing work as an option and just being a master at it. Finding work-life balance to protect your creativity. Okay, you could be finding this work-life balance through the options and the things that you're being offered. It's also about education. Some of you could be going back to school, diving down deeper into what it is that you know. You guys, apprenticeship is on this card, and we said the witch's apprentice. This could be somebody that's like diving into some form of spirituality and becoming like an apprentice, or a talent, somebody that has high standards and skill. And this is the coolest part. By focusing on this, I see victory coming through, victory and success with the Six of Wands. So it's like by working on what it is that you missed out in the past, by working on what it is that you avoided in the past, it could be working together with a person or working towards something that you didn't think that you needed in the past, but now you're realizing that you do, you're going to get victory. Okay, and this is really cool because then I see 6, 7, 8, so that's cool. So then clarifying the Nine of Cups, which is pure wish fulfillment. This is underlying energy. This is what we're talking about, wish fulfillment. We have, clarification, we have the Fool. So this is like a brand new start. This is spreading your wings to fly. So this is definitely somebody taking a leap of faith or a new start towards what they know that they skipped out on in the past and moving towards it. It's like taking a leap of faith into uncharted territory, but it's going to be what becomes your wish fulfillment. I love that. Okay, so let's get into the Witch's Kitchen Oracle. I swear if I have to do this reading one more time. Wanted to try to keep these under 20 minutes. But we're almost done, so what do we have? What do we have for Gemini with the Witch's Kitchen Oracle, please? Higher peace, power, protection, prosperity for the greater good. Underneath the deck, we have Witch Hazel, sensitivity. Somebody could have been really sensitive to a situation or has been being very sensitive to a situation or needs to be sensitive to a situation. I love Witch Hazel. You can use it as a tonic, for your skin, or like a toner. It's a natural toner. Definitely witchy vibes here. Somebody is deep into like esoteric witchcraft. Obviously, you're getting tarot readings, divination, that type of thing. You may want to use witch hazel in order to bring about more sensitivity to a subject. And then top of the deck we have sugar, which means sweetness. Now when I get this card, this is like kill him with kindness, or to bring sweetness to a situation, use sugar. You can burn sugar to speak to spirits or to appease your spirits, but you can also send somebody some chocolates or take somebody to the candy factory or something like that, that use sugar to sweeten up a situation. We're going to read this and see what it says. Desserts and candies are a weakness, inviting in a little sweetness. Sprinkle, pour, mix, and well, attract desires with a sugar spell. This magic is worked with harm to none, so mote it be, there it is done. So harness all your desires by adding some sweetness to your life. My sweet crystal power is irreplaceable when it comes to working with sugar magic and ritual and attraction spells. When you utilize my sugary charms and candy spells, I will magnetize all that you wish to allure, such as a lover, friendship, money, and beauty. Sprinkle me in nature to summon the elementals, or burn a sugar cube to communicate with the spirits that you wish to invoke. As I sweeten any culinary dish, I'll delight your tongue and entice your taste buds. When your mood turns sour, burn me to sweeten you up, or perform some sweetening magic on another whose words have a bitter edge. As you sugarcoat a situation, you are supported by the sweet smell of magic, which really will be the icing on the cake. So somebody could have a sweet tooth. But I feel like in order to sweeten up a situation or to make a situation better, maybe you want to take a friend out for, dessert or coffee and crumpets. I don't know where I'm getting this from. But anything sweet, the little dessert things, whatever. I don't know why I can't think of the little biscuits, the little donuts and stuff like that. Cake. Confectionaries. That's what I was trying to say. Somebody wants to sweeten up a situation. Okay, and it could be a situation, it could be a very sensitive subject with that witch hazel underneath the deck. It could be a very sensitive situation, but somebody wants to sweeten up the deal, so to speak. Okay, last but not least, what is divination of the ancients for Gemini? Underneath the deck, we've got runes, perception. So twice already in this reading, we've talked about hanged man energy, looking at something from a different perspective, and it's based on what somebody's perception was of the situation. I feel like maybe somebody was looking at something from a completely different angle, and now they're seeing it from a different light. Their perception has changed. Okay, you also might want to work with runes. Runes date back to, I want to say Celtic, but it could be even further back. It's like the Vikings used to use them, Nordic, Celtic type of time frame, and that's where the alphabet was created, I believe, as well. Okay, I don't know what this word is, but we're about to read it. It's ornithomancy, and it means omen. So you could be getting some type of a sign, looking out the window and seeing some kind of a sign, and it's like an omen. There's good omens and there's bad omens. This is looking out the window into the ocean. I said earlier, especially with this Piscean energy, there could be somebody who is big into water or the ocean or aquatics. So ornithomancy. I don't know if I'm even pronouncing that right. So be alert, for the signs are all around you. You have not heeded your internal alarms, so this flight of birds comes to warn you that you are in the process of making a huge mistake. You may be flying high at the moment, but could fall quickly and suffer a very nasty bump as you land. Already you have been swept away, but never fear, it's not too late to get back on track. Ask yourself, what resonates with your truth and integrity? Take action accordingly. Soar freely above commitments that you've made. Liberate your mind and heart and allow your soul to take off. Okay, so I do feel like you either made a mistake or were about to make a big mistake, and it had to do with this Ten of Cups, this new relationship, and it turned out to be like a Wheel of Fortune in reverse, right? Somebody just did not put the right steps, did not take the right actions in order to complete what it is that they were truly looking for. They may have chose the wrong option. But now I feel like somebody is like course correcting or will be course correcting, which is where they'll be presented with, these options. And they're about to, work really, really hard, or you've got hard work coming in with guaranteed success. I do see success coming through. Now, don't ignore your intuition messages or signs, okay? Think before doing anything that will take you from your true path. Someone is not being honest around you. This is not a time for new ventures. Do not move forward at this time with, something that you just do not feel, that you don't feel confident about, okay? Yeah, because we've got the Fool, spread your wings and fly. Somebody may want to take a leap of faith into something, but it's like, stick to what you know. Stick to working hard. Careful about, choosing an optical illusion, what you think might be the end-all be-all, right? That might be the solution to kind of Band-Aid over what it was that you missed the first time. But if you work hard at what you know that you need to work on, that's where you're going to get this guaranteed success. All right, so that's where I'm going to leave that at. The predictions that I did at the end of last year for this month. So the full moon was on the 7th. It was the full lunar eclipse in Pisces. So the first card that we pulled was the World card, but it was in reverse, which actually kind of follows the vibe of this reading. The World card in reverse, first off, the World card is all about endings and beginnings. Okay, it's about cycles that are closing so that new ones can begin. But when it's in reverse, it means that somebody needs to revisit an old cycle, an old chapter that they just did not complete. And so I see that happening here. We've got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, we've got the Ten of Cups in reverse. Something needs to be revisited before you can move forward. Then we have hearing messages from Spirit. You could be getting messages, signs, symbols. That's what this omen is about. Like, pay attention to what's around you. Pay attention to animals, to runes, to numbers, to insects, to all the things. And see what Spirit is saying. Google it, when you get a message. Then the next set of cards we pulled from was number 27, Release, Waning Crescent. The 27th could be significant, but there's something that you need to release, okay? Something that you need to let go of, cut off from the past so that you can make room for what's to come, okay? Then the next set of cards we pulled, number 55, Palo Santo, and it means guardian. I feel like you have a guardian around you. Everybody does. But this is like you needing to call those guardians in, okay? And use Palo Santo. It gets rid of all of the negative energy around you, negative spirits, so that it leaves only the positive spirits, the spirits that can help you and guide you around your energy. Also, somebody could be 55 years old. 5 plus 5 equals 10. 10s are endings, but they're also beginnings because 1 plus 0 equals 1. Then we pulled last quarter moon card in Cancer, which means take a breather. So again, Cancer energy, right? Support yourself before you can support others. You have to be able to rest before you can proceed further. You can't just always be go, 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 go. You have to pause and reflect on everything that you've been building and growing and planting the seeds and whatnot, so that and then you have to make sure that you take care of yourself before you can take care of others before moving forward, or else it's just going to turn into a Wheel of Fortune in reverse and you're going to have to redo it all again, okay? So then we also pulled the Dalmatian stone, so that's the crystal for this month. Dalmatians, you could have a Dalmatian, you could see a Dalmatian, but it's all about loyalty. Who has been loyal to you? Who have you been loyal to? Okay? Pay attention to that. Pay attention to those people. You know, the people that are clarification, the people that are most loyal to you, those are, as long as it's in the right energy, you know, those are the people that you want to, you know, stick with. And then last but not least, I was using astrology dice at the end of last year, and we rolled Uranus, Leo, and the 12th house. When you combine those three things, it means a rebel and a mystic with a cause. Now, the rebel part is you rebelling against your past and letting go of what no longer serves you. The mystic part is you moving forward in your spirituality, you listening to the signs, you paying attention to the esoteric messages, you becoming that witch's apprentice, right? But it's, you know, the cause is so that you can spiritually align yourself with the universe. It's so that you can wake up, not just yourself, but wake up others around you as well. And so this is you, in essence, becoming a rebel, but also a mystic with a cause. And I feel like once you figure out what opportunities and options that you now need to focus on and really truly work on it, right? That's what's ultimately going to bring you success. So that's where I'm going to leave you. I hope that this made sense, brought you answers, clarity, or insight, Gemini. And if it did, make sure that you drop a comment in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, and help the channel continue to grow. Love you guys so much. The energy has been wonderful. Also, make sure that you check out my Daily Pot Tarot. I know I haven't been posting a lot of the long form videos, but I have been posting daily the short form. So definitely go check out the shorts. And if you're interested in a personal reading, I have all of my contact information in the description below this video. I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your September. And as you know, it's together we grow. So I will see you on the flip side. You have a great month. Peace.